Alright, Section 5. Major and minor exterior repairs. Exterior maintenance, roof repairs, asphalt, shingles, slate, shingles, flat roof, gutters and downspouts, installing new gutters, roof drainage devices, chimneys, flashing valley, and dormers, how to make a roof deck, repair damaged clapboard, repair damaged siding, shingles, caulking, repairing rotted window sills, waterproof basement walls, repairing a gate, repairing a fence post, repairing a wooden fence, hinge type garage doors, overhead garage doors, electrical garage door opener, patching blacktop driveway. Inspection checklist. Exterior maintenance can be described as prevent care of the primary purpose of keeping the house waterproof, weatherproof. It is a sensible way to do ensure the adequate weatherproofing is not intended to haphazardly related to each of the bit of the trouble it develops, but to conduct a regular campaign maintenance outlined below is a follow checklist faithful, making the necessary repairs of vulnerable points you can result is assure that the roof, that your house is snug in any kind of weather. 1. Roof. Apply roof tar cement to loose shingles, replace missing and damaged shingles, flashing, examine for looseness between chimney roof and flashing seals of the caulking compound or roof cement. Gutters recommended. Remove accumulated debris, check for the proper pitch and re-nail if necessary, check for leaks and seams. Down drop spouts, check the leaf strainer if used. Check loose joints. Levers should be open to the ventilation but screened to keep them insects. Keep out insects, remove leaves, and check caulking. Roof line, check the separation, loose flashing, siding, re-nail, loose sliding, replace rotted areas, painted sidings if required, paint sidings if required, check the carpenters and wasp nests. Rain diverter, make sure that there's a set of proper positions, best drained of the downspout into the dry well. Garage door lubricating hinges, hardware, check for loose putty in the windows, put paint in the door if necessary. Driveway, chip out, fill crack, seal with the black top, gravel if needed, the lining, curbing. 11. Foundation, check flashing, termite shield, luck for termite tunnel. 12. Windows, remove loose putty, apply new putty and paint, lubricate cementing, casement, operators, doorways, tighten loose hinges, rehang doors if necessary, check condition, weather stripping, apply graphite to lock, caulking, remove crumbling caulking, clean, and supply new caulking where doors and windows meet siding or brick. Chimney, replace loose mortar, check for bird's nest, check condition, draft detector cover if chimney is not used. Locating leaks. Locating a leak in a roof is a frustrating experience because quite often leak in the roof is not directly over the wet spot on the ceiling. It causes the leak and the defective flashing around the chimney along with the roof extension. Leaks will show up close to where the chimney passes near the wall or near the roof line. If the house has an open attic, it allows you to easily access the underside of the roof. The task of locating the leak is much easier. During a storm, however, the climbing into the attic and looking at the underside of the roof directly above the wet spot on the ceiling, you may find that the roof is dry at that point. If it is, keep looking at a strong light toward the high side of the roof. Chances are that it will be possible to see water leaking through the roof, following the path along the rafters and roof boards, and then dropping the attic floorboards. After you've located the leak from the inside circle of the hole with a crayon, the purpose of the circle is to lead you to the leak of the storm subsides. Driving nails and push wire through the spot so that it will be able to tell the leak is exact location where your outside roof. You can make very temporary repair by applying a sealer caulking compound to the hole, working into well into and around the area. This will keep the water from leaking in the house until the storm stops. You can make more permanent repair. If inside of the roof insulation between the rafters, remove the after bat until you find the leak. Examine the insulation carefully as you pull the bats out. If damp or discolored, you know that the leak is nearby. Of course, if the attic is finished with the ceiling, it is impossible to make a visual inspection underside of the roof. In such case, if necessary to do so, carefully measure the transpose of the measurement outside of the roof. For example, count the number of joints and rafters from the wet spot of the chimney end of the house, some of them well defined. Multiply this number by 16 inches, divide by 12. This will give you a number of feet that must be measured off to get the leak area. Quite likely the problem will turn out to be cracked or missing shingle. Other possible sources of the leaks are poorly fitting skylight in their area around a sewer vent pipe or a chimney. Complete information about solving roof problems is given on the next few pages. When climbing on the roof, wear soft-soled shoes to prevent slipping. Besides being slippery, hard soles can damage shingles. Be sure that ladder is well secured. Roof ladder arrangement of the kind shown below of the good safe device. The safety of the arrangement is also to have the friend hold the ladder while you climb. A safety precaution: you should always observe stay off the roof in bad weather. Asphalt shingles repair and replacement. With little care and damage, missing shingles can be replaced without re-roofing. Shingles are applied to the lower edge of the roof surface to the top of the overlapping pattern. You will have to lift the good shingles above the damaged ones to slip the new single sheets underneath it and maintain a pattern. Never work on a roof in wet or windy weather. Wear soft-soled shoes. Make sure the ladder is secure on steep roofs. The auxiliary ladder arrangement shown in Figure 165 while on the roof will in a crouch have supplies close at hand. Repair shingles lifted in a storm can usually be repaired. Try to do this on a warm day when shingles are pliable. If shingles tend to crack, and to repair minor splits and lift shingles, you need the roof cement, a trowel, and roofing nails and a hammer. On a flat roof, repair a flat roof comparatively with a similarly comparable the work required steep sloped roof. When a flat roof develops a leak, it is generally right over the damaged spot, with the ceiling being below. Most of the flat roof leaks developed around chimney areas, low spots where water can collect. If the roof is covered with gravel and pebbles, some of the times you protect flat roofs from the sun. You must first sweep in a way with a stiff broom. Keep the sweeping until the roof is surface clean and visible. To not use a shovel, the edge might tear off the roof. Entire roof is in bad shape. Best to cover it with a black asphalt roof coating. Note, not roof cement. The coating comes in 5-gallon buckets. Is expensive. Covers about 100 square feet to the U.S. gallon, 125 square feet imperial gallon. Apply it with a long-handled brush, especially made with a roof coating. Work by 5x5 section at a time, making sure the surface is free of the dirt and pebbles. Don't worry about replacing pebbles. Most of the flat roofs have no gravel cover. All flat roofs have slight pitch to drain water to the gutter of the downspout to determine which way the roof is pitched. To start applying the roof coating to the highest area, work down to the lower part, leaving yourself a path to get down and cover the rest of the roof is dried out with the walk out, usually 2 days later. Cleaning and maintenance. Roof gutters need cleaning at least twice a year before starting with the winter and again right after with the spring. If your house is located in a heavily wooded area with more frequently cleaning with the required leaves and twigs and seeds and pods are worse culprits when it comes to clogging. When they are allowed to accumulate with clogged gutters and downspouts, back up water during the heavy rain with no place to go, and will cascade over the gutters, washing away the topsoil, damaging the plants below, and furthermore, constant wetting and drying in the time while the rot fascia boards under the gutters. In gutters, you need a ladder long enough to reach the highest gutter and clean out as far as possible either side, about 2 feet in each direction. Average causing. Do not be tempted to stretch beyond a normal reach to avoid moving the ladder. Move it and avoid the fall. Sagging gutters. A gutter that sag will also be dripping gutters that are slanted and pitched over the downspout about a eighth of an inch of each foot of their length. Important. Quite often, a long gutter will slant toward 2 downspouts, one each end, and with a high spot in the middle. How to repair them. Gutters and downspouts are made with steel and copper and plastic, aluminum, or wood. Wood gutters are seldom installed nowadays, but if you have a house that has them, they should be preserved for the paint job every 3 years. The best paint to use for the inside over the gutters is asphalt roof paint. Thin brushing consistently with 1 part paint thinner and 4 parts paint. Do the job after several days. The sunshine gutters are reasonably dry. The 2 thin coats are the better. With one heavy coat, the asphalt paint will flow in the tiny cracks of the wood, effectively sealing them against further deterioration. Be careful not to get paint on the outside of the gutter. If it bleeds from the conventional paint, that may be later applied to the outside. Best way to repair small, not so small leaks in the metal gutters is asphalt roof cement, as shown below. Such repairs can also be made with the method involved with the fiberglass with the combination 2 solutions epoxy mix. If gutters and downspouts need considerable repair, it may be better to replace them than to keep patching them. Gutter and downspout leaks develop the seams, however, the way they may travel from leaky seams to along the bottom of the gutter, then drop off the distance actual leak. Tracing it is somewhat finding a roof leak, checking the understanding of the gutter, checking. Chances are you will be able to see the water traveling along the gutter and the drop off when you can no longer support its own weight. Selecting gutters, estimating needs. You must choose your gutters and downspouts, particularly with the replacement often governed by the type of the house presents. Especially, you must use the match of the new gutter to the old one. Never a combination of aluminum to steel, copper, in any combination because of the corrosive electrolytic action between them. When you are planning to replace all gutters, however, they install them in the new house, you can use whatever you wish. Steel gutters are available galvanized with white enamel finish. Enamel gutters with the downspouts with slightly more expensive steel guttering is about the lowest price drainage system you can buy. Its sheath drawback is short life compared to the other material. The painting them helps to make steel last longer. You're not painting galvanized gutters with the downspouts, however, until they are weathered at least a year. Also, paint will flake off galvanized steel unless it precedes a special primer. Copper gutters or downspouts usually installed with a professional roofer because the joint must be also started instead of joint clipped together. Copper gutters are virtually corrosion resistant through leaks and may develop in head solder joints. As gutters age, they will take a copper typical green patina, so that it does. So if it best take a leave them unpainted. Aluminum gutters or downspouts coated with white enamel as well with the unfinished. They can be cut within the size of a fine-tooth hacksaw, but being lighter in weight than steel and copper gutters, they are much easier to handle and often better with the corrosion-resistant steel. Remember, however, they do not have strength of steel. They can be dented by a measure of pressure from the latter. Plastic gutters are particularly maintenance-free. While installing them, make allowance expansion. They buckle inside in too tightly. A special mastic is used to all joints to make connections. Metal is used only for the hangers. Wood gutters are specified by some architectural aesthetic reasons that are compatible with the character of the house, sometimes because they can be put up and by the builders, carpenters, instead of the roofer. Some opposite page for the care of wood gutters. How to calculate your needs. Generally, if the best to replace the entire gutter you run rather than just a section of it. When you do replace only a section, measure old pieces, place pieces carefully for the seam to determine the number of lengths needed. With the gutters available to 10-foot lengths, though few manufacturers make longer sections. Also measure size each of the fitting count with the numbers of the hangers, spike, and the ferrule sets needed. Take the small section of old gutter to your building supply dealer to make sure you get the good match. When installing a complete new run, make a sketch of the roof area involved from and determine the number of 10-foot lengths needed as well as the number of other fittings required. Keep in mind you need one slip connector to each point where the gutter sections meet, and when outlet and corners are installed, the one hanger and ferrule set should be installed every 3 foot of the gutter run. Regardless of the arrangement, the old gutter plan may have one downspout for each 35 running feet of the gutter. Offset elbows need to be permit the downspout to be mounted on a flush against the house. One required at the bottom of the leader to keep the water away from the house. Unless if the course of the downspout leads to a dry well, little paperwork at planning stage will cut down on a material waste and trips of the dealer. Splash blocks. Water allowed directly with the downspout, but may ultimately find its way through the foundation wall into the basement. With one way to prevent this, let the water from the splash blocks prevent the soil erosion under the downspout with the loss of 10 lead water away from the foundation. Some of the other devices more effective with masonry splash blocks. Among them, the fabric sleeve with fastened directly to the downspout. Perforations along with the extent of the sleeve that cause the water to flow gently rather than pour out. One sleeve type even with a spring coils up in it between the rain and weight of the descending water unrolls it. Alright, dry wells. Best solution in roof water damage is to connect with all downspout to storm sewer and dry well. Such arrangements call for the installation of the drainage pipes and tiles in the underground tension trench of about a foot below the surface of the knee of the downspout, with sloping about a ½ inch per foot into the runaway from the house storm sewer and dry well. Dry well, if the storm sewers are not available, just a large hole with the ground filled with rocks and covered with wood planks and concrete is also to keep out topsoil. One way to build up the dry well is to remove the both ends of the 5 gallon drum. Cut a hole in one side except for the drain pipe to punch in with a few dozen random holes of metal to permit with the water seepage of the barrier of the drum in the ground at least 18 inches deep. Fill it with rock and rubble and cover it with wood planks. Keep the space between the rocks and filling with dirt. The dry well may also be built using concrete blocks laid on their sides, separated with a few inches of the joint to form a hollow square in the center of the hole. A 3 feet square, minimum of 3 by 6, 3 by 8 foot hole is best. All dry wells should be located at least 10 feet from the foundation wall. Alright, chimneys. A chimney should be inspected yearly and cleared and cleaned when necessary. Dirt and soil will not only reduce the effect of the flue air, but it can also cause a fire in the chimney. If the top accessible, look down with a chimney aid with a flashlight, reflect the sunlight down into with a mirror. The chimney is not accessible from the top. You can inspect it with a mirror flashlight from the fireplace from the clean out of the chimney's base. If you see thick deposits of soot the chimney needs cleaning, to clean a flue, a weighted bag stuffed with a trawl with a paper cloth with a nylon rope lower the bag in, moving it up and down as you do with the force of the soot down in the chimney. First, make sure, however, the fireplace damper is closed with the open seal to keep the soot from entering the room. Professional now use vacuum cleaners for soot removal. Once chimney is clean, inspect the careful cracks of the flue hinges, leaks around with the furnace connections. If you find any cracks or seals within them, a mixture of 1 part masonry cement, 3 parts sand. Any cracks in the chimney masonry surface should be repaired. Installing spark arresters and rain guards. The top of some of the chimneys flues are covered with galvanized wire mesh to prevent sparks from embers from blowing out and possibly setting nearby areas fire. To make sure the basket of your chimney cuts a piece of wire mesh hardware cloth to protect the size and hold the fit over the flue. See the insulation top of the left. The mesh bracket should be cleaned and replaced even every so often. The accumulation of the soot does not hamper the draft of the flue. Chimney caps are often used to prevent sparks from flying out and to keep the water from entering the chimney as well. Chimney caps may also be either the reinforced concrete slab, a large flat stone, or should be supported with that so that it's 16 to 12 inches above the top of the chimney top right. If rain continues to come in the chimney chain with a cone-shaped chimney cap, these come in several styles. Among the shanty tile with a plain metal hood, weather vane type with that contains turbine activated by wind. All of them serve to prevent downdrafts, keep it out of the water. The cap can be purchased to fit any size flue. You can make it illustrated at the right. Care and repair of flashing. Flashing is used whenever the roof surface and walls and chimney meet. Thus, you will find the flashing around the chimneys, around the vent pipes, roof valleys, around the dormer. Many materials are used for flashing include galvanized steel, copper, lead, aluminum, and plastic, felt, rubber. Flashing joints are usually sealed with roofing cement. After many years of weathering, they may be small breaks at the joints. Actual gap is obvious if the pinholes are not. You should therefore inspect flashing carefully at least once a year. If you have doubts about the condition, apply asphalt, roof paint, or roofing cement. You may have to keep it fill larger gaps in the roof left and cover it with cement. Sometimes chimney flash separates from the mortar in which it's embedded. It requires immediate attention because the separated flashing acts as a scooper of water running down the protrusion sides, sending all of its under roof shingles through the sheathing into a room below. In some situation, old mortar along with the defect with it must be cleared away, the chimney cleaned, and the flashing repositioned in the line. The line is then filled with a fresh mix of patching mortar. Methods of flashing. It is impossible to lay any type of a single shingle tightly enough against the chimney to keep the water from entering the joint where the chimney passes through the roof. This is because the chimneys are masonry. The construction of the roof is wood, asbestos, slate, or other materials. Also impossible to fasten to the masonry. The solution is flashing, which is used to seal the roof chimney joints. A good chimney flashing system consists of 2 sections sheet metal, generally copper, 2 sections over all 4 sides of the base of the included wraparound lips of the corner. 1 section is steep in a step or the base, flashing in a bend to form the slope over the roof, positioned flush against the chimney and going partly on the up side and also onto the roof where it's covered with shingles. The second part of the system is called the cap or the counter flash. Is placed over the base of the flashing, but only a small portion extends out onto the roof. The portion again of the chimney side extends beyond the step flashing into the top edge is bent 90 degrees, inserted directly into the chimney mortar. The system pushing flashing every joint where the chimney meets the roof. So we have flashing pictures here. How to replace a chimney flash. Add the 2-part with a counter flashing system. Keep the flashing insert at the corners and look at the leaks that occur at these points. Patching is usually a temporary measure. It's between them. Rip out the old flashing, install a new one. Examine the mortar line closely. Cap flashing will pull away with the joint in it for any reason. Suspect the breakout of the old motor. Remove the discard flashing to do the job. You may have to remove the shingles around the chimney. Use old flashing a pattern, making the new one shown below. Call all pieces of the sheet copper and make sure all of the necessary bends using asphalt roof cement fastening the front base or steps flashing in place. Apply the side pieces. Base flashing of the back of the chimney is applied last. When these steps are taken, the shingle will be replaced with the cut cap of the flash piece size of the bending edges around the shape of the J, pushing the flashing all the way with the brick joints and filling the mortar back with the cement with the cap flashing. Front of the chimney can be one of the continuous space pieces, but side must be stepped into sections along with the roof step. Roof and window flashing. Valley flashing is done on the 2 methods known as open valley and closed valley. Shingles have open valley stop right before the valley, leaving the open space for those of the closed valley butted together with the valley. Center open valley is easier to install, but usually preferably to close. Also, water seepage is likely to open valleys. Actually, the only reason for use closed valley in this appearance by the covering of the flashing material, the presence of unbroken shingle surface with small holes, gashes. To open valley flashing can be repaired without replacing the flashing. Cutting the piece of the metal flashing material, the lap hole 1 inch on all sides. Apply the roof cement to the hole surrounding the surface. Press a piece of flashing into the cement. Hold it for a few minutes. Look for the developed and closed flashing. Frequently require removal of shingles into the leak area with the replacement of valley flashing. Often, however, the leaks in closed valleys can be patched with a square copper or aluminum bent to fit the valley. Bending to make it easier to push the metal pieces past obstacles such as nails. Nails interfere with too much. They can be cut off under the shingle and pulled out with a tool shown in Figure 181. Page 181. Later replaced with new nails exactly the size of the square depends upon the pitch of the roof exposure of the shingles to the weather, but they should be large enough to fit up over the second shingle at least 2 inches. Bent squares are pushed up under the shingle over to the top of the old flashing, starting with the bottom flash in the valley until the reach of the top, until all the damaged flashing have been covered. Dormer flashing, the flashing around with the dormers between the roof and the siding between any of the wall of the roof extending with the under of the sliding out and over the shingles is generally best applied with a series of overlapping sheet sliding already in place and kept bent and shoved up under the siding. Shingles are laid and flashing is installed with flashing overlapping so that the provided watertight fit joint between the meeting strip of the roof and is the only part of the house that requires flashing. For example, the window and door jambs usually need a protection from the weather. Remember that the wall joints most vulnerable to the entrance of the water are around windows and doors. Materials and construction. A roof with a base of square footage is one of the most expensive parts of the house. It must make good sense to transfer the roof space to the usable living area of the sun deck of the roof patio before any roof can be used for the purpose of however that may be properly protected for the average residence. Flat roof covered only with a rolled roofing which cannot take out much traffic or abuse. Previously noted on page 168, the flat roofs have a degree of the pitch and construct a roof deck with depending on the slope. For instance, where the pitch exceeds the minimum drainage requirements of 1/4 inch per foot, deck level that sleepers and simply floor joints placed on existing roofs depending on the slope of the sleepers can be anything from 1x2 blocked up with intervals of 2x10s cut on diagonal form along wedges. These usually replaced at the same distance as the floor joist, 16 inches on center planning and location sleepers. However, be sure the original roof drainage will not be blocked. The deck surfacing material is fastened over the sleepers. Several materials suit for the deck surfacing with exterior grade plywood, hardwood, lumber, planking materials, especially for the purpose when planking is used. Ductwork construction is most popular. Actually, duck boards are square platforms, 3 by 3 feet, with a good side laid side by side over the entire deck. The sleepers are wedge cut. The duck boards can be accommodate slight change to the roof pitch. Finish of all of the roof decks protected with the railing on an open side to provide access to the new living space, in which can be only easily converted window to a door. How to repair a clapboard. Whenever you find a piece of warp or slap clapboard, repair it. Immediately measure entering the wall beneath the warp or through the crack will with the timeout run out with a section of the wall from the inside before the external signs of the damage. First indicating this, the paint starts to peel the room adjacent with the damaged section. The clapboards overlap and nailed together, but they might seem the distributing one board, whether requiring next one above it, and so on until the wall on the top. So this is not so on the board, even though the part of the board was pulled up or out. The repair is made with the tearing down the wall. Wood and asbestos shingles. Wood shingles, as a rule, easier to repair them. Clapboard usually fixed to the split with a warp and slipping, and simply nail them down with aluminum and galvanized nails. Shingles of the exposed side of the house, however, where strong wind-driven rains can penetrate the cracks. Cut in a piece of the roof paper approximately the size of the shingle and slip it underneath the shingle by nailing it down. This will help the waterproof of the patch. Ordinarily, asbestos shingles, because they are not vulnerable to rot and weather, need little maintenance. Similarly, they are relatively brittle. However, some of the shingles, especially lower courses, may become damaged, require replacement. If you find more than 10% of the shingles on the wall require replacement, the best to replace the entire wall. If you replace the entire wall with the asbestos shingles, save the old damaged shingles that can be used again in the wood shingle replacement. The old ones are left in place and used in the undercourse of the new wall. How to buy and use caulk. Caulking is very important. Soundness any of the housing helps to keep the air and water tight, whether the windows, doors, or meet the walls. Caulking compounds caused by semi-solid substance combined with a binding and a neutral. Natural synthetic oils keep the caulk and elastic, resilient. Caulking is available in bulk of the gallon or 5-gallon cans. Disposable cartridges made for use for the caulking gun. Caulking guns are made with the two types: full barrel type of the design with the bulk filling with a half barrel drawn in type intended to use the disposable cartridge. In addition, some types of the caulking compound are available in squeeze tubes and similar to the look and the function of the game like a toothpaste tube. Caulking compound is available in 5 basic types. Off-base caulking is most common in wood with the bond in most surface wood, masonry, and metal. Latex-based water-thin caulking is for drying, will take paint very well. But butyl rubber caulking is long-lasting, best suited for making metal to masonry joints. For polyvinyl acetate caulking, durable material adhered to all surfaces, including paint. Silicone caulking, long-lasting of all the compounds, takes well out to all surfaces with the exemption of paint. Also, all caulking compound, regardless of form or composition, are available in white, gray, and black. Or repair from the outside. With a wet basement can be caused by either surface of the well. Groundwater leakage. Surface of the water usually shows the stain of the well, so starting with a level with the outside ground surface, diminishing when the wall of the approaches the floor. Surface of the water originates in overflow of the puddles, streams, and roof gutters, or from rains, thawing, snow, water seepage occurs after rainy periods. Suspect surface water. Common surface water problem: improper roof draining. Dry wall arrangement usually corrects this. A house with a natural drainage path only occurs in cure and uses of ditches or retaining walls, or have the surrounding ground regraded. Groundwater in the basement is identified by the water stains on the wall. It oozes through the floor, enters within junctures of the floor of the wall, then persistent floor generally comes to ground rather than the surface of the water. You can prevent groundwater penetration laying on the tile around the cellar, waterproofing the outside of the wall surface, and 3, treating the inside of the wall surface. Outside waterproofing, though metalworking is generally considered more effective than treating the inner walls of the defects with water pressure instead of letting and pushing through the inner surface. Wherever there is considerable water pressure, moisture, clay, soil, exterior treatment may be necessary. If only a small crack is involved, you can use the liquid sealer patching compound. For a major problem, the best waterproofing solution is a coat of asphalt, roofing cement, or plastic sealer. For added protection, asphalt vinyl sheeting is also often applied on the outer side of the foundation. This method requires digging away the soil around the outside of the wall. Professional techniques involve forcing special sealing compound along the base of the wall. Under pressure tends to follow the flow of the wall, seal the fixture cracks. Job can be done professionally without digging. This cost depends upon severity of the problem as for an estimate. Loose hinges, if screw head not be tightened or do not hold, remove them and fill the holes with wood, silver, waterproof glue. Drive the screws back. Longer screws, moving the hinge is solid work. Solid wood will sometimes work. If not, drill the hinge holes over the other side of the post and secure the hinge with nuts and bolts. Loose frame. If the gauge frame isn't square, it's not broken. On using a wire turnbuckle, bringing it to its proper shape, you can install a brace made at 1/4 inch from the bottom of the rail to the top of the rail with a wider grate. Makes an X space for the half lap joint in the middle. Sagging post must be caused the gate to operate poorly with the post set with a concrete shrunk with the drive of the hardwood wedged between the post and concrete sealed within the asphalt paint and roof cement. If the post has been loosened from masonry wall fastened with lead anchors. For more sagging posts, see the next 2 pages. How to set a post. You can avoid unnecessary fence repair setting with the post correctly. Protection against decay. Wood posts should be set with 1/3 or their length with the ground. They should be treated before setting with a preservative, more popular being with a corrosive type, hydrochloride, phenol, or penta. Best application method to let the post stand overnight. Can contain preservatives that gives the end grain time to absorb the chemical with the setting with a place with a flat rock layer over the gravel at the bottom of the hole. Reset the post in it. Concrete fill is necessary to firm well with drain soil to provide earth compact around with the base post is properly treated before setting. If large loose soil, preparing mixture concrete in page 469 port in the hole, tampering it in tightly. Make sure the post hole is slightly larger at the base and at the top. Set the post and fill the area with around the ground level to top off the cement cap, the trowel at 45-degree angle from the post to the ground. Apply roof paint, asphalt cement to any of the cracks between the post concrete. After the concrete has hardened, the steel post shall be set same way, except the lower end shall be literally coated with asphalt paint to preserve it and prevent rusting. Provide a post of flange of the base and crossbar passing through drilled holes to keep the post from turning into cement. Alright, replacing damaged rail picket. The best solution for the badly rotted fence post of the new ones. You set in concrete fence rails, however, they can usually be repaired or replaced without disturbing the post. Finally, to the end of the rail rots, nail rusts out, and the rusting openings left in ran into the end of the grain. No more than 1 inch of the 2 damage for the rail must be salvaged. Cut away with the rotted section, nailing 2x4 extension of the remaining of the rail, then the post with the other replacement methods shown below. Broken rotted pickets are replaced individually, even discarding the model of the new ones. They quickly cut with the same stock obtained with lumber yards. Nail pickets the top of the bottom rail with rust-resistant nails, sinking them slightly and filling the holes with wood, putty, or sawdust mixed with waterproof glue. Steel nail heads best being prone to rusting even when covered with paint and should first be shellacked, then entire picket replacement on a whole fence for an appearance sake and given the coat of the outdoor paint. A sagging door. High hinge-mounted garage doors have a tendency to sag off and open with closed with difficulty. You can correct the sagging of the driving wood wedges under the door. Drop the corner of the door until they hang straight. When hanging properly, tightening all of the hinge screws. The existing screws cannot be tightened. Replace them with longer screws and reposition the hinges of the screws can be driven in solid wood. If the screws cannot be tightened because the wood was rotten, remove the screw with the drill all the way with the hinge hole, secure with the hinge of the rust-resistant bolts and nuts, and replace the hinges of the damaged of the twisted. A sagging frame with swinging garage door sags. The hinges are slightly chanced if the door is not square. To make the door square and plumb, drive wedges under the door and hang straight. Straighten the corners right angle of the steel mending plates, and this install the metal door brace of the turnbuckle. When backing the insulation, be sure to extend the brace to its full length. Screw one end of the brace to the bottom rail, sagging corner, other end of the far out possible with the hinging on the side of the stile. Tighten the turnbuckle until the corner is raised. You can also use the wood brace made about of 1x4 installed between the lower and outside corner, upper side, inside corner shown. Maintenance. Hinges in these garage doors should be kept oiled. All the doors, especially with the bottom part, should be kept painted in protection against the weather. All along the bottom of it does not progress to the point where you need a new door. Cut away with the decay only patch with new wood. Then saturate the entire area with wood preservative. Next, cover the strip of aluminum wide enough to fold over both the sides of the bottom of the door. Attach with the rust-resistant nails and seal the edges so the rain cannot penetrate between the metal door metal in the door. If the panel is rotted before correctly, cut the new panel with a 1/4 inch exterior plywood secured with 1/2 inch quarter round molding and brads. Alright, your roll-up doors, most driving, binding of the overhead garage doors, trace and proper track alignment, the lack of a lubrication, various tracks they must be plumb, and the two curved sections the same height with the tracking. Mounting brackets have slot adjustments made with loosening screws and lagging bolts. Also, when checking the track, make sure that the overhead track is sent slightly downward toward the rear of the garage so that the raised door will stay up in position. Replace any bent or distorted track. Garage door springs are under great tension. Extremely caution. Maintenance of doors. Swing up garage doors do not generally require much maintenance except for the moving hardware, which should be lubricated with oil-powered graphite. Lubricate with the hinges, rollers of the door down position. Since the oil tracks collect dirt, it is necessary to clean the tracks occasionally with a rag damped with a paint thinner. Straighten out with the next you notice of the track, and be sure to keep the overhead garage doors well painted, especially bottom edge, to protect them from rain, snow, and sun. Weather stripping, like other exterior doors, housing and garage doors should be weather stripped. The type of the stripping should be especially good fit because of the weight of the door compresses against the concrete floor, creating a tight seal. Preparing an insulation electrical garage door. Electrical garage door operates after the insulation. Overhead doors slide up and down on the tracks. Mower sheet and slidable with the sectional doors glide on a curved track. The one-piece doors guide on straight tracks. Make certain which type of the door you have before ordering the opening unit. Also measure the door height and width, since the measurement can affect the size of the control as you need to check the distance between the highest arc of the door travel the garage ceiling. Most opening will require at least 2 inches of clearance. Prior installation, prepare the door by checking all the hardware work properly. Oil the rollers, apply the liberal coats of the grease to the tracks. Be sure that the door is balanced. Make the existing door locks inoperable by jangling them in an open position. Hawk sawing off the locking bar ends of the door. Operating unit could be serious damage if strains open with the locked door. It's not necessary to be able to lock the door, since the door is equipped with an automatic opener. Cannot be opened manually from the outside of the garage. Even if the event of electrical failure, however, connecting the arm can easily disconnected from the carrier to permit manual operation. One safety feature should be not fail to look for in the control unit is you buy an automatic return switch. So this device causes the automatic reversal of the door when it encounters obstruction during the downward slide. Adjustment. The door opener will require adjustment right after installation. Make it closer and snugly open with a wider and clutch adjustment with the dry belts. Permit the slipping of it to slip for the door's downward travel. As obstructed slippage is an extremely safety factor which occurs before automatic reversal control takes over. Alright, patching blacktop on the driveway. Repair a hole in blacktop. Patch your blacktop driveway. Thoroughly clean the hole. Depress areas of all debris, chunks of the old asphalt debris, and pebble the deep down hole. Shovel the partially filled with coarse gravel. In patching cold mixed asphalt material available at 66 pounds per bag of material should be housed in the bag of the proper application. If the hard warm several hours in the door, perhaps overnight, when material is workable, it can be brought into sight. Fill the cavity to which an inch of the top of the matching of the material. Eliminate with the air pockets. Slice the fill with a shovel and tamp it into the end of the 4x4. Finish filling the hole by sharpening the asphalt into the mound, then level this mound, flushing the adjacent surface flat part with a shovel with a roller. To keep the fresh asphalt from sticking to your shoes, spread a thin layer of sand over the surface of the patch area. Blacktop sealer. Waterproof blacktop sealer is available to building supplied to dealers for the purpose of the protect driveway surfaces against sun, snow, water. Most sealers ready-mix 5-gallon cans. Quality and quantity will coat 200 to 300 square feet depending on the porosity of the surface. Sealers are applied on long-handled brush brooms. Before application, see that the driveway is swept clean and all dirt and debris and best applied to 2-coat second within 48 hours. Section 6. Furniture. How to repair and restore it.